Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. There's a whole bunch of Avengers Doomsday first looks, behind the scenes, and big reveals that the Russo brothers, as well as other people behind Avengers Doomsday, just made, so we'll break it all down. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. It is just getting started, like they've just started posting stuff from behind the scenes, and official stuff will probably get way more through the rest of the year just because they're filming Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars back to back, just like Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. So it's like the next couple years just full of Avengers related stuff. First big thing is the Russos posting the first official image, technically, of Avengers Doomsday. It's Robert Downey Jr.'s chair behind the scenes for Victor Von Doom, Dr. Doom scenes, and it's inside the X-Mansion. If you can't see, zoom and enhance the background here. This wood paneling on the side is for the X-Mansion, meaning that they're starting out filming Dr. Doom fighting the original X-Men characters in whatever scenes that they're doing here. Would not be a Marvel movie or an X-Men based movie if they weren't trying to destroy the X-Mansion again during it. Makes sense because all the external scenes that they've already been doing, like for the special effects, the visual effects shots, all the early footage we've seen so far is outside the X-Mansion around the grounds of the school, destroyed by some kind of space shuttle, all kinds of explosions, craters everywhere. It looks like there's been a major attack, which now, I think confirmed, is Dr. Doom's doing, and the incursions altogether. Because it sounds like the original X-Men team here, their universe is destroyed by an incursion, and it's Dr. Doom's doing. Kevin Feige said that the whole movie was basically the original X-Men teaming up with the Fantastic Four, coming from their universe into the MCU, along with the MCU New Avengers, the Thunderbolts characters who represent another team of New Avengers, and the Wakandans, along with Namor and the Talocan people, the mutants there, to fight Dr. Doom together. Like all of them band together to fight Dr. Doom. So at some point, all those other different teams, like the original X-Men, the Fantastic Four, for instance, have to come to the MCU for some reason. We're actually going to see that go down for the Fantastic Four team during their movie. Like by the end of their movie, they will have their reason for needing to travel from their universe to the MCU. There are some Easter eggs in the trailer for him working out some of those calculations on the blackboard.
I don't know.
Right as the Russos were dropping the first footage, the first images, Chris Claremont, legendary X-Men writer who's worked on tons and tons of the X-Men comics at Marvel for a very long time, revealed a bunch more story details, mostly X-Men related, but some of them pretty cool. He revealed that Psylocke will return. He didn't say which version of Psylocke because there were versions during the original Bryan Singer era, like the original X-Men era, and then there was the Olivia Munn version during the First Class era. I do think that we will see some of the X-Men First Class actors, those versions of the characters, show up between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, but I'm mostly expecting them to focus on the original X-Men actors during Doomsday and save most of the X-Men First Class versions that they do for Avengers Secret Wars just to differentiate the movies, because Kevin Feige was just hyping up the original X-Men actors in Doomsday in particular. She actually appeared in a couple of the different Bryan Singer era X-Men films, so she was on one of Stryker's screens during X2. There was an actress that played her, though, during X-Men Last Stand. The way they talk about that version, who was on Magneto's Brotherhood of Mutants, we're actually supposed to see his Brotherhood of Mutants during the movie. I think that's why he was specifically talking about Psylocke coming back, because we'll see a version of the Brotherhood of Mutants during the movies. But in that version, they said that they just did her as a random mutant and then later changed her name in that movie in Last Stand to Psylocke. She wasn't originally supposed to be Psylocke. There was also a younger version of Psylocke during Wolverine Origins and an alternate version, adult version, during Deadpool and Wolverine on Cassandra Nova's team of mutants. But I don't think it's going to be that version just because Blade's team, like that multiverse team of characters, killed all of Cassandra Nova's mutants when Deadpool and Wolverine were fighting Cassandra Nova. He did say Famke Janssen's Jean Grey would return eventually. He didn't say if it would be during Doomsday or Secret Wars, and whether or not she'd be in full Phoenix or Dark Phoenix form, or she would just be in Jean Grey form. But she's one of the most powerful characters that the X-Men have. It would be weird if Famke's version didn't show up at some point during the movies. There are a number of very powerful X-Men that they didn't feature during Chair Watch, like Halle Berry's Storm wasn't featured during that either, and she's supposed to show up during the movies at some point. So it's not like every single person that's going to be in Avengers Doomsday was during Chair Watch. There are a ton of people that they just weren't ready to announce yet because their contracts weren't done, or they're not going to be as big during Doomsday. It'll be bigger characters during Secret Wars. I think all the Chair Watch characters are going to be relatively major characters during Doomsday. He revealed Wolverine is going to show up and kill someone important. Now, because I think Wolverine's going to be a good character when he shows up, it'll be one of Hugh Jackman's versions, if not the main version from Deadpool and Wolverine coming back, because he is supposed to come back during Doomsday and Secret Wars, along with Deadpool at some point. If he's going to be killing someone really important in the movie, it's probably going to be somebody on Doctor Doom's team, maybe one of the alternate versions of Chris Evans' Captain America, like the evil version or the darker version that he winds up playing that's fighting against the main 616 heroes. Maybe if we're lucky, it'll also be an alternate version of the Hulk. That would actually be amazing to get a Hulk versus Wolverine moment again during Doomsday or Secret Wars. You can let me know in the comments if Wolverine's going to kill someone important, like which are the big bites that you're hoping to have seen Wolverine have on screen. That's probably what they're going for with a Wolverine kill, just to show you like a really big fan moment. He revealed Elizabeth Olsen is going to return as a good version of Scarlet Witch. I think this was meant to be in contrast to her more evil version or twisted version during Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. The way we heard it early on, they were supposed to be adapting a portion of Scarlet Witch's story from the Young Avengers Children's Crusade storyline, where they do wind up finding her eventually, like Billy and Tommy wind up finding out what's happened to her, but she's lost her memory, and Doctor Doom has been manipulating her into helping him. I think in the context of the movie, the way her character fits in is that it sounds like Dr. Doom, Robert Downey Jr.'s version, might be using her power to further his goals of saving the multiverse, but by destroying other key universes in the big Battleworld twist at the end. But either way, Scarlet Witch is meant to come back, and they're meant to give her a redemption arc, like she's going to be on that path when she does come back. Robert Downey Jr. is supposed to be playing multiple characters in the movie. His Doctor Doom is also supposed to be pretending to be a returned Iron Man from 616 universe, acting like he is their friend, like he's literally their returned friend who died. And of course, his main character is the Victor Von Doom, Doctor Doom from another universe. We've all been thinking that he might be the main Doctor Doom of the Fantastic Four's alternate universe. We will see how they wind up explaining that, because the first time we actually see him on screen is supposed to be at the end of that Fantastic Four movie or in the post-credit scenes for that movie.
To defend itself against Doom.
Then he also revealed that Chris Evans is supposed to be playing multiple characters, including an evil Captain America. When he says evil Captain America, he could be talking about Hydra Cap, but he could also just be talking about a darker version of Captain America, like a nomad version of Cap. They could also be doing some flashbacks for the main 616 Captain America Steve Rogers. Peggy Carter is supposed to be in the movie in some way too, but they didn't say which version of Peggy Carter. Maybe they also reference Old Man Cap scenes of some kind, just because there's a lot of questions about what happened to Old Man Cap. Not expecting him to play other versions of his Johnny Storm, though. Not expecting him to show up just because he was killed by Cassandra Nova. The way that Chris Claremont is talking about it, he's saying Chris Evans is showing up as multiple characters, just sound like multiple different versions of Captain America specifically. And of course, because Thunderbolts is out this week, be sure to go see it as soon as possible. The post-credit scene is Avengers Doomsday related. Like, it's a return to form in terms of Marvel doing classic style Marvel Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3 post-credit scenes, where they very much tie into the Infinity Saga, the Thanos Infinity Stones of it all. And now in present day, it's all tying to Avengers Doomsday, the multiverse saga of it all. I don't want to talk too much about the Thunderbolts post-credit scene just because I'm posting this video the day before the movie comes out everywhere, so I will do an actual post-credit scene video specifically tomorrow. We will talk about all the spoilers then, but no big surprise because Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are like Marvel's last big movies before Avengers Doomsday comes out, so of course they have to hit the pedal to the metal in terms of setting up Avengers Doomsday. Like, they can't go from 0 to 100 next year in the spring. One of the other real big questions, though, is there are a couple untitled movie dates between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, and there's a real question, aside from Spider-Man Brand New Day, what other movies they're going to be releasing in that sort of corridor between movies. I've already talked about how they're going to do the Ant-Man and the Wasp thing with Spider-Man Brand New Day, where like the events of that movie are meant to take place around concurrently, like around the same time that Avengers Doomsday is happening, and they'll just use the post-credit scenes for Spider-Man Brand New Day to sort of sync up with the end of Doomsday as things spill into Avengers Secret Wars. But it's not totally clear if they're going to do the same thing with any other movies that they release later in 2026, like November, or in early 2027, before Avengers Secret Wars, because there's still an untitled movie date that Marvel has in February of 2027, but it's not clear if they're just going to take that off the schedule like they were originally intending on releasing a movie there, but they're not going to do that anymore, or if there's just some secret movie that they're just going to wind up releasing, because I don't think that they've been filming a secret movie right now, and if they were going to release something, then they'd actually have to start filming it by the end of the year, so we will find out pretty soon what they're going to be doing with that. But let me know if there's like 2 untitled Marvel movie dates in those space there, which movies do you think those will be? Because at least right now, it sounds like Doctor Strange 3 was one of their top picks, but there are a couple other options that they have, other movies that they could do in that corridor.
Not in the least.
In related Thunderbolts news, just because it's coming out, I will be naming giveaway winners randomly in the comments on my Marvel videos, so just look out for that. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below. I'm working on my Thunderbolts post-credit scene video. Click here for that. I'll update the link as soon as I post it. And click here for my Thunderbolts full breakdown and Easter eggs video. I'll be sure to update that link too as soon as that's up. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.